Testing.
Greetings, brothers. Welcome to the Blood Angels Commander channel.
You know what, I was trying to find a piece of paper and a pen to scribble onto it. We are having technical difficulties, to just hold up and just be like, spend the next 20 minutes farting around with no sound, and the next 20 minutes after that taking the stream down. And then I thought I'd go live. Good evening. Hello, how are you? Aradine, good evening. Kevin, good evening. James, Boris, Thrillwood, Vintage Flanker, Quay, Zach, Lord Commander Dante, Cambo, Guidos, and Ben, and Miguel. Good evening. How the hell are you guys? Thanks for showing up. It's nice to see you. It's Sunday night. That means one thing. That means we're looking at 40k army lists. If I would put up the damn army show banner, it is indeed the 9th of November. Less than 50 days to Christmas. Can you believe that? Someone tell me I'm sounding good. I was about to ask, can you hear me, or am I just speaking to myself? I'm sounding good, Robert. Thank you ever so much. Cool. Okay, I know my shit. We're ready to go live. We're going to do a bunch of lists. And that's what we always do on Sunday. So if you want your list on the show, there's there's probably a few ways to get it on the show. It's pretty easy. You could DM it to me on Facebook. You could put it in a comment of a YouTube video, or you could DM it to me over on Patreon. I mean, you could DM it on Discord as well, I guess. But yeah, the best way is the first three. If you're a premium member, i.e. you support the channel on Patreon, or have you gorgeous green name in YouTube, then you get priority in the queue. But we do get to people that do not support, like that are not premium members, you regular Joes with the grey names. We will review your lists, just maybe not as quickly as if you have a green name. So let's get into it. We are starting tonight from Zakun. How quickly I would be banned if I submitted another Lost Brethren list with like 30 Reavers. There was actually a Reddit post today, Cambo, that I read, where somebody, I shit you not, somebody on Reddit was complaining that Reavers suck. Yeah, like I found it on Reddit. Look, useless complaint from a new player. I've been building my Raven Guard list. I'm a little disappointed that a couple of units seem utterly worthless. Unit number 1, the Reavers. You didn't even spell it right. That's how worthless they are. People don't even know how to spell them. But I was reading Reddit earlier and I was like, that's funny. Okay. Zakun, I love the channel. I've been watching it for a few years now. I was gifted a free membership. All right, I'll even give you priority if you get gifted a free membership. So show up to live streams because sometimes you'll get a free membership. I've been playing particularly Lag. I really enjoy the steady scoring and have wave after wave to send it to melee. All right, we are on the cap. Let me read the list and then we'll come back to his comments, right? So, captain, on foot, a chaplain, on foot with fight first, and a jump chaplain. So only 3 characters. Interesting. Unit of intercessors on foot, double impulsor. I do like me some double impulsor and lag, gives you some durability. 3 units of jump intercessors, cool. A 6 and 2 3 blade guards. That's also kind of cool. We don't often see 6-3-3, but I mean, little 3-man units of blade guard, they're very effective in Liberator Assault Group. Death Company Marines with the jump pack. I imagine they'll with the jump chaplain. Incursors, infiltrators, outriders, scouts, some stern guards, and then double vindicator tank. Okay, I was going to say, originally I wasn't sure what the incursors are for, but maybe they're going to give the vindicators +1 to hit, so that could be useful. I usually run a captain with the stern guard, the chaplain, and the blade guard and the impulsor at the start, but often dump the blade guard out turn 1 to move into ruin, and embark the MSU blade guard or intercessors. The Death Company chaplain and 1 or 2 jump intercessors are in reserve. I've been looking at swapping out vindicators and incursors for 3 times ballistas. I think your vindicators and incursors are better than 3 times ballistas, honestly. I've run it a few times, it seems fine, but I'm leaning towards the Vindicator tanks. Yeah, I mean, I would run the Vindicator tanks until they are legends this edition. Good evening, Mike. How are you? Vindicator tanks are just too damn good, right? Like, especially if you roll like a 6 for the number of shots, then all of a sudden you're getting potentially 10 strength 14 hits. You're probably going to shoot the Oath of Moment target. If you're not going to shoot the Oath of Moment target, then Cursor is going to give you +1 to hit. 10 strength 14 shots is infinitely more valuable than a couple of las cannons and a couple of crack missiles, because it's just so much weight of fire. 2 Vindicator tanks into the Oath of Moment target can usually delete just about anything. If you've got ways of giving them +1 to wound, then they're absolutely bonkers. Yeah, I think you want to keep the Vindicator tanks. Interestingly, this list has no Sangre Guard. So it's got 15 jump intercessors, it's got 12 blade guards, it's got 1 small unit of Death Company, it's got a unit of infiltrators for, I guess, the home field. It's got a unit of outriders for the flank. It's got a unit of scouts for scoring. It's got some stern guard with a captain. It's got double impulsor. And it's got blade guard with +1 to wound. Yeah, I mean, overall, it's got a lot going for it, this list, right? Like, I mean, you could argue that you don't need 3 units of jump intercessors. And you could do Sangre Guard, you don't need 3 units of Blade Guard, and you could do Sangre Guard, but people have been winning tournaments just fine with Blade Guard and Jump Intercessors. There was a minute there for when people were running like 25 Jump Intercessors and 18 Blade Guard. And they were doing really well. Vindicators are great, they're super short range. I mean, are they super short range? I mean, it's 9 inches of movement plus 24, 33 inches. I mean, it's yeah, sometimes they can get outranged, but like I run 2 Vindicators every game. I don't think the range is super problematic. I mean, Liberator Assault Group does give you a way to advance and shoot. There is a stratagem for that. But yeah, I think 2 Vindicator tanks is a solid, cheap way to run your fire support, and I think I prefer it to 3 Ballistus Dreadnoughts, because I don't have 3 Ballistus Dreadnoughts, but I've got 2, and I could easily proxy one of my other Redemptor-sized chassis as a Ballistus. I don't know if I would run 3 Ballistuses, especially now they've put them up in points as well, right? So I think this list is kind of absolutely fine. Double Impulsor lets you put units on objectives. Lets you do actions, scouts for scoring, outriders potentially for scoring, another unit they can put on objectives, infiltrators are screening, incursors have... I forget if incursors have a scout move these days. I think they have a scout move now and no infiltrate. I haven't been playing incursors all that much, to be completely honest with you. Yeah, so they've got a scout move. Cool. So they've got their scout move, they can be forward, they can give +1 to hit. I mean, I like this list. I think it was totally viable. I feel a little bit sad it's got no Sangre Guard, but you honestly don't need them if you're running, 12 Blade Guard, 2 Vindicator tanks, 5 Death Company, Stern Guard with a captain, and then 3 units of Jump Intercessors. Like, at that point, you just don't need Sangre Guard. The only thing you're going to need them for, or the only thing you would really want them for, is they bring AP3 to the table, and other stuff doesn't have AP3. So if AP3 is meaningful in the matchup, then Sanguinary Guard are maybe a little bit better. But if AP3 isn't meaningful in the matchup, right, you're playing against like Chaos and everything's got 4-up Invan, or you're playing against like Eldar and everything's got 5-up Invan, and AP3 just doesn't really do anything, then you don't really miss the Sanguinary Guard. This is a totally fine Liberator Assault Group list. It's close to a tournament list. I think you could probably do pretty well at tournaments. In some ways, it might even do better than Sanguinary Guard because you have a lot of drops. Like you've got 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So you've got 16, 17 distinct units on the board. I mean, that gives you a lot of units for redundancy for scoring. Yeah, I think this is a great list, Sakun. I wouldn't change much. I would definitely keep the Vindicator tanks and then Cursors over the Ballistus Dreadnoughts. But that's just me personally. And ironically, the one time I won a GT this edition, I actually used Ballistus Dreadnoughts and not Vindicator tanks. But go figure. When I was using the Ballistus Dreadnoughts, they were much cheaper. I think they were like 130 points or something. But yeah, no, I think the Vindicators are just much, much, much better. I think it really just comes down to the fact that they fucking wound everything in the game on 3s, and they're very good at anti-elite, especially if elites have big squads, then they get blast. They're just very good, right? Hello, Henry, good evening. I think I said hello, Vintage Flanker. I don't know. Well, hello anyway. Nice to see you. Anyway, there is 41 people in the house. We have 11 likes. So when you get a second, please do smash the like button if you get any value out of tonight's stream. Alright, we're moving on to Nick Bell. Not 666, quadruple 6. So it's the number of the beast plus another 6, whatever that does mean. He is playing Liberator Assault Group. He is playing Incursion, 1,000 points. Cool. So a 1,000 point list. We don't see this too often. A unit of Assault Intercessors on foot. A unit of Assault Intercessors with jump packs. A squad of Eliminators. I'm not a huge fan of Eliminators. I don't really know what they bring. Like a couple of las cannon shots and a shoot, move, shoot. It's fine. I'm not really sold on them. A unit of Sanguinary Guard with blades. A unit of scouts, and then apparently an Inquisitor is your only character. If you have to be a monofaction, I could take out a Tech Marine for the Inquisitor. It's probably just better anyway. Okay, yeah, I mean, a Tech Marine is fine as your solo character. I think my question on this list is like, this doesn't add up to 1,000 points. It's a. Am I losing my marbles? Probably. Oh, this is I think this is a 500 point list. All right, it's just marked. Oh, because you can't mark lists as 500 points. You've marked as Incursion. Well, you haven't managed to add up 5. Oh, you have managed to add up 500. Okay, yeah, I guess if it needs to be monofaction, it's Tech Marine. So this is like a King of the Colosseum style list. Okay. One character. One unit of Assault Intercessors on foot. One unit of jump packs. One unit of Sanguinary Guard. One unit of scouts. And the Inquisitor / Tech Marine. Noting that the Inquisitor mark is a question mark, given your allies' rules don't work well at that level. But if you can't use the Inquisitor at this level, what level can you use it on? I don't even know. The Inquisitor just attaches to Assault Intercessors, and I don't have a clue what he gives it. He gives them... Because it attached to the battle line infantry. You can use a strat on them for free, and they can bark on a transfer. Okay, whoop-de-doo. Nothing... Oh, he gives them a 6-up Invan. And the Inquisitor has like a Devastating Wound, 2d6. Strength 3, weird. And a Force Sword, probably. Force Weapon. Okay. I mean, the Inquisitor's fine. Tech Marine's very similar. Strength 3 weaponry, 2d6 shots. Maybe you roll a couple of 6s, does a couple of mortal wounds. Yeah, my question mark really is Eliminators. Like, nobody's really playing Eliminators. What's the value in Eliminators? Like, they've got 2 las fusils. but they do d6 damage, which is very random. You probably... I mean, I think the previous editions, Eliminators had this ability where they got like double cover, and that made them good, because essentially they're just toughness 4 Marines with a 3-up save. And I think before they got the benefit of cover twice or something, because they used to have like a 1-up save if they were in cover. So if they got hit with AP 1, if they were in cover, they were still saving on a 2. I can't quite remember the 9th edition rule. But like, this edition, 2 las fusel shots for 85 points. There's got to be a better way to get some high strength firepower. I don't think it's Eliminators. Like, I think I would much rather just pay find the extra 25 points and take Hellblasters, right? Because at least then you're getting 10 Strength 8 AP3. I think I'd rather 10 Strength 8 AP3 than the 2 shots. Yeah, I suppose these guys have devastating wounds if you manage to stay still. I don't know if I really rate them. Scouts, Angry Guard, Inquisitor, Attack Marine, Assault Intercessors, Jump Assault Intercessors, all good in 500 points. Just Eliminators. Like, I've got 2 squads of them. I really don't play them. The prevalence of ignore cover in 10th edition is mega annoying. Yeah, there's a lot of things that ignore cover as well. Yeah, I mean, I feel like Eliminators were really good in previous editions. You could stand them up on terrain. You could put them in like a place where they could get like plunging fire. They'd be somewhat obscured, so they were always getting like good cover saves, and they need good cover saves, right? Because 85 points for 3 Marines with toughness 4, 2 wounds. It's like there's no durability whatsoever in that. You kill them with a stiff breeze. A grenade wipes out half the squad. I mean, statistically, a grenade actually does kill half the squad. So, I just wouldn't field them. I just don't know who's fielding them. I don't know what army they're good in. I'd stay away from them. Alright, we're going to move on to Matt Grady. Matt was actually a new member who messaged me this list over on Facebook. So he is running a Liberator Assault group list. He is called Ballistus. So if he does not have 3 Ballistus Dreadnoughts in this list, I will be super disappointed. We've got a Captain with a jump pack. We have a Chaplain with Fight First. We have Mephiston. We have Dante. We have Lamartes. So like the big three OG Blood Angels are here. So I expect all of them to have big squads to lead, well, except Mephiston, of course. So we've got a squad of Intercessors. We've got an Impulsor. We've got 2 jump pack Intercessors. We have 2 Ballistus Dreadnoughts. Only 2, unfortunately. We have the 6 Blade Guard. Obviously, they'll be the Fight First Chaplain. We've got Lamartes with his 10. We've got Dante for his 6. We got another Captain with the jump pack. Yeah, we've got another Captain in the jump pack, so he might be with the 3 Sangre Guard. I mean, he could be with a unit of Jump Assault Intercessors, but it's probably more likely he's with the 3 Sangard. And then we've got the unit of Scouts. So, we're basically a melee army here, with the tiniest bit of shooting. I think you can get away personally with two Vindicator tanks. Like, I don't like coming to the battlefield with less firepower than 2 Vindicator tanks. 2 Ballistus Dreadnoughts to me feels like, personally, I feel like it's not enough. Like, I ran a Blood Angels list with 2 Gladiator tanks. And we could argue Gladiator tanks are not as good as Ballistuses, but some people think they are better. So, potatoes, right? Or whatever. I imagine 2 Gladiator Lancers are somewhat equivalent to 2 Ballistus Dreadnoughts. Ballistus might be better at killing elites. Gladiator Lancers probably better at killing vehicles. I found it hard to play Blood Angels with that combo, because I felt like I didn't have any durability. This list does at least have an Impulsor. It does also have Mephiston. So Mephiston can get out and do lone operative stuff on an objective. An Impulsor can get out and do lone operative stuff on the other objective. The Impulsor's probably carrying 6 Blade Guard with a Chaplain, so that's probably fine. We've got 2 jump pack units of Intercessors for trading. We've got big 10-man Lamartes unit. I'd either put him or Dante plus a 6 in reserve. there is obviously the big question mark around Dante at the moment. Like, do we even need him? Because a captain who's 45 points cheaper is arguably just as good. So you could question the Dante pick. I mean, Liberator Assault Group, you get advance and charge, so it's a bit better than it is in Angelic Inheritors, that's for sure. 9 Sanguinary Guard, a 6 and a 3 is the right number in my opinion. Unit of Scouts is good. So I put one of those units, the Death Company of the Sanguinary Guard, in reserve, and then I put one of the Jump Intercessors in reserve. I sticky my home field objective, I push my Impulsor onto one, probably like close to the middle. I put Mephiston on the side one. So I'm holding 2, Mephiston can't be targeted. I'm potentially holding 3 if my Impulsor or the unit inside can survive. And then I'm going to like countercharge with Blade Guard, with Sanguinary Guard, with big units of Death Company coming in from Rapid Ingress, and or do some trading with Assault Intercessors with the jump packs. I mean, everything's good here, except maybe in, like, me personally, I don't think 2 Ballistas is enough shooting, but like people have been doing well and winning RTTs with no shooting in Blood Angels these days. So you can get away with having very little / no shooting. It's not my preferred style. I like to have some shooting. I like to weaken up my enemies. When I was running Liberator Assault Group, I was running 3 tanks. For a while there I was running a Predator Annihilator. No, sorry. A Predator Destructor, a Ballistus Dreadnought, and a Vindicator tank. So me personally, I would like to have one more tank in this list. How I would do that would probably be I would have to like change the Death Company to maybe be a bit smaller. You lose a unit of Jump Intercessors, right? You make the Death Company smaller, you lose a unit of Jump Intercessors. What do you get back? Like, best part of 200 points? Well, there's a Vindicator tank. And probably enough points to throw like an enhancement at somebody else, right? Gift of Foresight on your jump pack captain or something, you know, to get some additional saves or additional wound rolls, you know, that could be an option. So I personally would like one more vehicle, but I think this list is totally fine. It's absolutely viable. There's no red flags in it. It's all good units. I think it's probably about 12 or 13 drops as well, so it's probably fine. Let me check. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 12 drops. It's maybe tiny bit light on the drops, but I think it's fine. I think it's totally fine. I'd totally run this. Well, I mean, I personally probably wouldn't, but I would run 90% of it and just lose a couple of models and add one more tank. I'd probably add the Vindicator tank, to be honest, and I'd probably put it in reserve. Because Vindicator tanks coming out of reserve can be pretty nasty. Alright, we're flying tonight. We're looking at Leviathan guy next. I hope you feel better. Yeah, I'm feeling much better, man. This last week, if you haven't been keeping up with the stream, I had a tooth infection. Sorry, I had a tooth out, then I had an infection, then I had an allergic reaction. My allergic reaction is all but gone. My body is not super red anymore, so that's... everything's golden. Everything's good with the world. Hopefully the 2 wisdom teeth that I have in my upper jaw that haven't made it into my mouth yet never fucking come through. I do not need them. I was actually feeling for them with my tongue. I was like, please God, tell me I don't have upper wisdom teeth coming. What a fucking nightmare. Alright, he's going to be running a list against Death Guard. Let's see what you thought. Liberator Assault Group. Liberator Assault Group into Death Guard is pretty hard. Because you're not shooting them. You're wanting to combat them. And Death Guard are crazy durable. And if they're playing the Champions of Contagion, I think it's Champions of Contagion, that's like one of their main detachments, they have a -1 damage stratagem, which is horrible for playing against Blood Angels, because most of our damage is damage 2, right? Maybe it's not Champions of Contagion. There is a detachment that that someone will know it better than me. Death Guard, where they can -1 damage. Maybe it's Mortarian's Anvil. That's the other one, is it? Mortarian's Hammer. Oh, I don't know. But Death Guard definitely have a way to -1 damage, and that's probably it. It's one of the horrible Death Guard combos. But Death Guard have come down a lot on win rate, right? Like, they were up at like 50-something%. They were very high. When I was checking Stat Check, they're like down at like 50% now. Do you know what? Death Guard. They're apparently the same win rate as Blood Angels, 48%. And the popular detachment is indeed dun dun dun. Mortarian's Hammer. That's the highest win rate one. A lot of people play Mortarian's Hammer. 32 players this weekend. It was the second most popular one. The most popular one was actually that one, Virulent Victorium. Maybe that's the one with the -1 damage. Thanks, Peanut. Hey, Blood Angels, got my run in. Hope you got your workout in. I did get a workout in today, actually, and I felt very good about it, because I hadn't really had a proper workout in like 2 weeks. So, because of the tooth extraction. So, I felt really great, actually, earlier today, getting my workout in, so thanks for asking. Okay, Captain on foot, Chaplain on foot, Mephiston obviously on foot, and a Terminator Librarian with Speed of the Primarch. I want to like the Terminator Librarian. I think the better choice, honestly, is the Chaplain Sorry. I like the Terminator Librarian. I think the better choice is the Chaplain in Terminator Armor. Why? Librarian gives you sustained hit 6, but the Terminators are still going to want your Red Rampage strat. The Chaplain is going to make it that you don't need your Red Rampage strat. So the Chaplain, and he also gives you a 4-up Feel No Pain against Mortals. Whereas I think the Librarian gives you a 4-up Feel No Pain against Psychic, which doesn't come up very often, to be completely honest with you. Yeah. So the Chaplain's going to give you +1 to wound and melee, and a 4-up against Mortals, which I think is better. I think the Mortals protection is better, and I think the +1 to wound frees up your Red Rampage stratagem. So it's called Disgustingly Resilient. Yeah, that would make sense, Peanuts. Thanks. Okay, so we've got 10 Assault Intercessors on foot. We've got 5 Incursors on foot. We've got 10 Jump Pack Intercessors, 2 squads of 5s. We've got 6 Blade Guard, a Brutalis Dreadnought. We don't see this guy very often. I don't think he's very good, honestly. I've got one. I've played it to a tournament. I probably wouldn't play it to a tournament again. We've got a couple of Predator Destructors. Predator Destructors used to be really good when Death Shroud Terminators didn't have 4 wounds per model. I think when they changed them from 3 to 4 wounds per model, the Destructor got a lot worse. We've got an Executioner. You don't see those too often for Blood Angels, but that's what we've got. We've got Unit of Scouts. We've got 10 Terminators. Cyclone Missiles, Stormbolters, Power Fists. Yeah, I mean, straight away, you should swap out that Librarian. Like, the Terminators are going to need Red Rampage. We've established that. But so do your Blade Guard. So do your Jump Intercessors. Like, so do your Assault Intercessors on foot. If you go into the Death Guard units, they're so high toughness. Like, it's realistic to fight a Death Guard player where the lowest toughness in his army is 7, right? Because I think the Plague Marines are toughness 7 now? Or maybe it's Plague Marines are toughness 6 and the Terminators are toughness 7. But Plague Marines are T6? Yeah. So if you're fighting against Plague Marines, all of a sudden, like, your Chainswords are only wounding on 4s, which is generally pretty bad to be fighting other infantry only wounding on 4s. So every melee unit you're going to want playing against Death Guard is going to want your Red Rampage. So in that case, the Terminators should be led by a Chaplain, so that they obviously already have Red Rampage. And your Blade Guard are also led by a Chaplain, so they already have Red Rampage. So that frees up your Red Rampage to give to your Assault Intercessors on foot, your Assault Intercessors with your Jump Packs, And I mean, I think both, like, any time those guys go into combat, if they don't have Red Rampage, they're probably not going to be doing enough killing. The Blade Guard go with the Chaplain, that's obvious. The 10 Assault Intercessors go with the Captain, that's also kind of obvious. The Librarian goes with the Terminators, and then the 6 Chaplain and the Blade Guard ride inside the Repulsor Executioner. I'm not sure what to put in reserve. What do you think? Well, I would put in reserve probably a Brutalis Dreadnought, because I don't know how it's walking across the board and getting to combat. So I'd probably try and rapid ingress it. I'd probably put 1 unit of Jump Intercessors in reserve. And I mean, you could arguably put your Scouts in reserve as well. That could be an option too. Well, do you know what? You've got your 10 Terminators. So 10 Terminators are going to go in reserve with the Chaplain, because you guaranteed need them to make a charge. Then potentially you put the Brutalis Dreadnought in 1 unit of Jump Intercessors. That's probably what you do. So turn 2, you choose, it's either the Brutalis Rapid Ingressing or the Terminators, and turn 3, it's the other option. And the Jump Intercessors can either just come in normally to do some unit scoring, or to try and do a 9-inch charge. I mean, 9-inch charges are super unreliable, but sometimes they can come off and they can score you 15 points if you take an objective from your opponent, right? So I'd probably do something like that. How does this list deal with Death Guard? If they have a lot of Death Shroud Terminators, you might have a problem. I mean, the big squad of Terminators that you have with the Power Fists, with the Chaplain, if you use Oath of Moment on them, then they're in really good shape, right? Because you would be, Oath of Moment would mean you're hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s, and your Chaplain with +1 to wound just means you would wounding enemy Terminators on 2s, because you'd be Strength 10 with +1 to wound. You'd also wound a lot of their other buggies and shit on 2s, because they have a lot of Toughness 9 stuff in Death Guard. Like Bloat Drones, Toughness 9. Well, what else they got Toughness 9? I think the Beasts in Urgle, Toughness 9, and I think the Mythic Blight Haulers. Can't spell Mythic. Mythic, sorry. Blight Haulers, yeah, T9 as well. So T9 is perfect, because you're wounding on 3s, you're getting +1 to wound from the Chaplain. So the big change in this list is get a Chaplain leading your Terminators. Like, that changes a lot. How else do we... I mean, Executioners and Predator Destructors I don't think are super meta at the moment. I think they're fine. I don't think they're great. I think a couple of Vindicator tanks would be better. I also think the Ballistus Dreadnought is not very meta at all. Sorry, the Brutalis Dreadnought. Like, it's just not... Like, it just doesn't do enough damage, in my opinion. It only gets 6 attacks. It only has weapon skill 3 up. So realistically, you make 4 hits. Yeah, you wound pretty reliably, strength 12, twin linked. But it's only AP 2 and it's only flat 3 damage. So, like, if you go into something like Death Shroud, it'll kill 1 Terminator. Its melee is really underwhelming for the 160 points. I don't run it at all. I tried taking it to a tournament and I found it really underwhelming, and I honestly don't think I'd take it again. The other thing to say is if you're playing against Death Guard a lot, they have -1 to your armor, -1 to your toughness. So toughness 4 Marines just kind of melt against Death Guard. So just be aware of that. Like, you have to be killing units when you charge, because on the swing back, they're going to be super deadly against you. I've got a lot of battle reports against Death Guard on my channel. I think I might even be playing them this Wednesday night, dude. So you can check that out if you're interested. Yeah, Nick, I get you. There's a tough... 500 points is quite a limiting size. I just don't know if I feel eliminators are meaningful. Like, if I had 85 points, I'd probably just take, like, a 3-man unit of Blade Guard or something. Like, at least I know what they can do. You know, like Blade Guard and Liberator Assault Group, it's 15 attacks, it's strength 7, it's AP 2, it's 2 damage. I feel like that's good. Reroll hits of 1 as well with the Blade Guard ability. Alright, Bart has the next list, and it looks like it's going to be a crazy one with 21 units in it. he has gone. We've seen a list like this before. It was pioneered by. Was it Krychek? Was it you, Krychek, that was doing this crazy list? I can't remember who was doing this crazy list now, but someone was doing a list with a crap load of captains. So it's 3 Blood Angels captains, it's 3 regular Space Marine captains, it's 3 Gravis captains, it's a Terminator captain, it's 3 Jump Pack captains, it's 3 Death Company captains, it's a Death Company captain with a Jump Pack with Rage, and 2 more Death Company captains with a Jump Pack, a unit of Sticky Intercessors. Oh, and then a Knight Castellan. Okay, that's a switch, right? The other list that we had didn't have this. It just had, like, another 3 types of captains. Oh, okay, now it's interesting. So, 6 regular captains, 3 Gravis captains, a Terminator captain, 9 jump captains. Is that right? 9, yeah. And then 9 jump captains. I mean, your OC fucking sucks. So it's all about if you can kill things with all their power fists and thunder hammers and relic fists and infernal pistols. And I guess a bunch of the captains get finest hour for devastating wounds. You've got a rage captain in there as well. The thing I find with the Castellan is it's super swingy, man. Like, look at its volcano cannon, right? Like, it gets 1, 2, 3 shot. 1 to 3, right? That's not right. You know, so it's like, where is it? Volcano Lance. Number of shots, 1, 2, 3. So on a bad day, you roll a 1, and then there's a 3 up to hit. And then it's probably wounding on a 2 or a 3. So, like, sometimes the Volcano Lance just destroys things, and other times it can go entire games with killing nothing. D6 plus 8 is pretty bonkers as well, AP 5. But then it also has, like, the Siegebreaker missiles. I believe it has 2 Siegebreaker missiles. AP 6, Strength 12, D6 plus 1, Devastating Wounds. But again, sometimes they do really well, sometimes it does nothing. So, the thing about, like, if you, like, and it almost seems like when you play a knight, like, if that's your only knight, like, you're playing an entire list and you just have 1 knight, it feels like it's such a small pool of dice you're rolling on that 1 knight, every turn is very swingy, right? It's like, you go into the turn, and either the knight just destroys 2 or 3 things, or the knight just does nothing, and there's no in between, right? So, for me personally, I'm probably not, like, I probably wouldn't field this, personally. Like, you know, it can't get your Oath of the Moment. Like, maybe if it could have got your Oath of the Moment, you know, like, I'm trying to think if I would have recommended an Astraeus tank, but probably not, because how do you even move an Astraeus around the board? Serious question, how often does OC even matter? OC matters every couple of games. I mean, it matters more about, like, prolonged melee combats over objectives. If you've got melee combats where one person jumps in, kills everything, then it doesn't matter, right? But sometimes it matters. Probably matters more early game as well, when people don't want to commit too much of their forces. They only want to put 1 or 2 units on an objective, right? Probably matters a little bit more in that situation. Anyway, 20 captains, or like, yeah, 20 captains. No, it would be 19 captains, a unit of Sticky Intercessors, and a knight. It's a viable list. It will beat some people, but it's also pretty fucking crazy, and I don't know if I think it's for me. I definitely don't own 6 Death Company captains. I don't own 3 Gravis captains. I don't own 6 Firstborn captains. I think I've actually been making 2, so maybe I've got 4 of these captains now, but yeah, I think it was. I think someone was playing this before, and they took it to a tournament. I did a whole video about it. If anyone wants to watch the video, The thumbnail for it was this one. So it was 12 captains, the chapter master, the Herald of Sanguinius, and some Devastators. So,
Greetings, my friend.
Someone was running this in Angelic Inheritors. They had an Impulsor, they had Intercessors, they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So they have very similar, so it's like 14 characters, unit of Intercessors, sticky objectives, unit of Inceptors and Devastators. So yeah, I mean, Inceptors and Devastators are pretty much, and Scouts for scoring. I probably like this list a little bit better, just because, like I said, the Knight is so swingy and it's a lot of points in one basket. And in the other list, it was like a squad of Devastators, a squad of Inceptors, and a squad of Scouts. It's pretty much the same costs as the Knight. But if you want to go batshit crazy and run a crap load of captains, you totally can. And the person that sent me the list was actually winning a lot of games with it. They won like 80% of their games with it. I mean, let's be fair, who's got experience playing against a list that has 20 captains in it? The answer is nobody. Nobody knows how to play against a list with 20 captains in it. Like, I mean, it maybe one person does, but most people don't. Mike says, to be fair, the Knight would be a bullet magnet. Yeah, I mean, it would be a bullet magnet because all the other characters. Yeah, I mean, it's just gonna have to soak up all your last cannons and everything. All right, Night Haunter. He is running Liberator Assault Group, 2,000 points. Jump Captain with Rage, Jump Captain with the Gift of Foresight, Mephiston, Dante, Death Company Captain with Fight First, and Lamartas. So I think this is going to be a shitload of infantry, this list. Intercessors. 5 Jump Pack Intercessors, 20 Death Company with Jump Packs, a Devastator Squad with Las Cannons, 2 squads of Sanguinary Guard, which have actually got up in points now, which maybe break his list a little bit. A squad of Scouts, a squad of Vanguard Veterans. So it's basically just all jump packs all the time. I actually covered I guess we're getting to the end of the edition now, where I've covered a lot of Blood Angel stuff. And in the last list, where I'd covered basically a similar list with lots of characters, I have actually covered like a tournament winning list that was very similar to this, like last week on the channel, I think, which was just like all jump packs all the time, led by a few characters. So you got Intercessors for sticky objectives. You've got Mephiston for lone operative stuff. You've got 2, I suppose, like 2 10-man squads of Death Company, one led by the Fight First character captain, one led by Lamartas. You have Chaplain in the Jump Pack leading the 5 Assault Intercessors, Dante leading 6 Sanguinary Guard, 3 unled Sanguinary Guard. Oh, maybe the captain's actually leading the 10 Vanguard Veterans. That probably makes sense to put them up to Strength 7. He's got Ragefield Warrior in there as well. And yeah, I mean, if my problem with running a list like this is, like, last time I checked, Eldari are still very high up in the meta, right? And Eldari have a crap load of Fight First. And a list like this is going to require you to make a lot of charges. If you come into an enemy that has a lot of Fight First, you have a real problem with this list because you've got no real counter for Fight First. You just have to take the losses. And Space Marines typically don't have the unit count to take losses to absorb Fight First damage, right? We don't have great armor save, we don't have great toughness. Commodore says, thinking of trying Angelic Host for a bit. Yeah, no one's doing Angelic Host, Commodore. There is no good list for it. I'm sorry. We had it on the channel. We had a list submitted last week on Angelic Host. Like, it's just not a viable detachment. You look on Stat Check, literally no one is running it. So this week in the meta, we have Blood Angels, 1 player played Lost Brethren. 1 player played Gladius. 41 players played Angelic Inheritors. 111 players played Liberator Assault Group, and nobody played Angelic Host. Not even a single player. So out of like the best part of like 175 players worldwide playing Blood Angels competitively, 0 are playing Angelic Host. And that's actually one of my pet peeves. Like, people ask me what I want next edition. What I don't want is detachments that are ignored from day one for the entire edition and are dog shit, right? Like, if I had to pick one thing that I don't want, it is that. I mean, 1 person played Lost Brethren. So 1 out of 171. So, like, that's less, it's like 0.5%. Maybe slightly more than 0.5%. So you've got 2 detachments and the representation. So in the book, in the Blood Angels book, there was 3 detachments. 2 of the detachments, the entire competitive representation is less than 1%. Like, I hate that. I fucking hate that. Like, give me some choices in our book, right? Like I've said before a couple of times, like, I'm a little bit bored of the choices that we have in 10th edition because they took away a lot of choices. Like, I don't want to be negative. I have physically unsubscribed. I'm sure you guys know the YouTubers that do those clickbait titles every week. It's like, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to Games Workshop. I've unsubscribed from all of them because it's negative shit, and like, life's hard enough anyway. The last thing I need is more negativity in my life bringing me down, I feel personally. And I hate making negative content, and I hate being negative because I'm quite a positive person. In fact, my wife actually tells me she hates my positivity. But that's my pet peeve, that like 2 of the 3 detachments have less than 1% of our entire competitive representation. No wonder I'm a little bit bored of 10th edition. You've only given me 1 detachment to play with for 3 years. Like, it's just not good enough. I only play 1 army, you know? Well, I mean, I guess I play Ultramarines now and again. I was thinking of buying a Dark Angels model next time I go to Games Workshop. But, yeah, I get why you're craving to do something else. It's just not an option. If you want to be competitive, it's not an option, Commodore. Let's hope. Let's, fingers crossed, hope to God that isn't what happens again in 11th edition. Because it drives me wild, man. Alright, rant off. Do I still have that Elder army? Yeah, I'm going to sell it. I've not used it. I'm not really interested in Eldar, which is funny because Eldar have a crazy high win rate this edition, Mike. I'm just not a Xenos player. I'm a Marine player. I feel like learning another army is just something, honestly, I don't have time to do. I don't mind learning a different chapter of Marines, because I know Marines like the back of my hand. Wrath of the Rock is very good. Yeah, do you know what? Wrath of the Rock looks very good on paper. It's very difficult to play against, but it doesn't actually win tournaments. It doesn't have a great win rate. But yeah, no, I think if I'm playing other stuff, right? Like, last edition I bought Black Templars. This edition I've bought a bunch of Ultramarine stuff. I just bought Calgar before he got put in. Like, I've still got him in cellophane just before he got his new armor. So, if I play another army, it will be Marines. Like, and I'm actually gonna try and do more Marine stuff in 11th edition because I worry that Blood Angels are going to be pigeonholed into one detachment again. Imagine you're now playing Space Wolves and you have literally 0 detachments from your book that are competitive. Yeah, they're still playing Gladius, aren't they? Yeah, it's not great, Peanuts, but like I said, I don't really want to be too negative on it. So we'll move on. So Night Hunter said, I've been trying quite a few things the last few months. I'm not a premium member, but I know I've already reviewed one of your lists. I really loved you to have an insight. It's only infantry, but very devastating. It's still able to score good, and most certainly after killing the whole enemy army. There's no Vindicators, there's no Lancers, no Scepters. It's a pure melee infantry army backed up by scouts, and a single Devastator squad with las cannons. Did I miss the Devastator squad with las cannons? No, I must have just blanked up for them. Alright, 1 Devastator squad with las cannons. Cool, I guess. I really like the squad of 10 Vanguard veterans with shields and the captain with the gift of foresight, making them a bit more deadly. It's a hard unit to shift. With lethals, it can get +1 to wound. I mean, the issue I have with that is probably just its low AP of AP1. The squad of Angelic Inheritors with reroll to 1 and wound deleted in my last game against Necron's Dynasty, a squad of 20 warriors and 2 cryptics turn 1 with the 4-up infant. I mean, I guess, yeah, I mean, there's some matchups where -1 to wound is just the perfect number, right? Death Company with the Speed of the Primarch and 10 Death Company Marines delete pretty much everything in the game as well. He's backed up by Lamortes with another 10 Death Company, down to 6 Sangria Guard. Mephiston, Lone Operative, yep. Here's the list. So, yeah, I mean, I personally don't really like running Blood Angels without shooting these days. I run shooting in my Liberator Assault group list. I have Impulsors. I run shooting my Angelic Inheritors list. I also run Impulsors. Do what I do and just play memes, says McFatson. Do you know what? I mean, I kind of did that, McFatson, right? I went to a tournament with a Stormraven gunship. I played Stormlance, and I obliterated one opponent and then got obliterated 4 times. But did I have fun? Yes, I had a lot of fun. And also, was I frustrated that my list was bonkers and a bit bad? No, because I knew that going into it. So sometimes if you're frustrated, you need a break. And do you know what? That's the best break I've ever had, because it actually opened my eyes to how much I like Hellblasters. Before that, I never played Hellblasters. Now I fucking love Hellblasters. So changing, sometimes you need something that pushes you outside your comfort zone. I personally have tried playing the spammy Blood Angels list like this. But like, I just think back, like I had a tournament game against Eldari where their whole damn army basically fought first. And every unit is super deadly at killing 2 Moon Marines, it feels like. And I'm like, how do I deal with that? I mean, the only way you deal with it is the impact mortals from the jump intercessors. And I guess that's why some people take 25 jump intercessors in a list like this, right? Because that just gives you potentially 25 mortal wounds on the charge. Hey, Menthos, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships, dude. I do really appreciate that. It's very kind of you. You are more than welcome. You don't have a list submitted this week, I don't think, Menthos, but if you want to submit a list, we will get you on the show next week, 100%. What a legend you are. Thank you. So yeah, one of the things you could do to make a list like this better, potentially, is put in 25 jump intercessors, because at least then you charge. You could put in some chaplains as well, so because the chaplains, when they activate, they do mortal wounds. So you can do a bunch of mortal wounds, you could throw some grenades, you could try somehow to get round fight first units. If you come into an enemy army that has tons of fight first, I don't know how you deal with this. Right, like with a list, like if I fight an enemy that has a bunch of fight first, I'm like, right, cool, I'll just drop down my 6 Inceptors, I'll oath a moment you, I'll sustained hits my Inceptors, and I'll blow away half your squad of fight first guys, and then I'll charge you. It seems like, to me, it's much, much simpler, right? Because I'm pretty sure Inceptors will evaporate a bunch of Eldar that fight first. Whereas a list like this is just going to have to take the casualties. So what do? You have to charge like a unit of Eldari with like 2 squads of 10 jump Marines, Death Companies or something. And yeah, I mean, maybe you can do that, but for me it's not ideal. I only play against Necrons, so I feel weird sharing a list here. Dude, I'd love to see a list that does really well against Necrons. So just when you submit the list, just mention that it's really good against Necrons. People ask every week. They're like, oh my god, I play Necrons and they reanimate all the time. How do I beat them? And I don't get to play against Necrons all that often. I usually just play them at tournaments because I don't have a friend that lives where I live that plays Necrons on my channel. Not competitively, at least. So yeah, just share it at some point. That'd be cool. So this list is totally fine. And here's the thing about 40k, right? You can't build the perfect list. If you build a list that you build this melee only list, yes, there's going to be a counter like fight first, but if you build like a combined arms list, yeah, there's going to be another counter to it. So there is no perfect list. If there's a perfect list, everybody would run it all the time and the game would be boring, right? So if you've got a lot of jump units, if you've got plans for them, like sticking objectives, Mephisto on a side field objective, Devastator squads to shoot, 10-man Vanguard veterans with a captain for some durability and a lot of AP1, you're targeting the right opponents, you're making the right moves, then I think it's totally fine. I mean, for a while there, people were winning tournaments with 25 jump intercessors and 18 blade guard. So it was kind of showing that you almost don't even need the Blood Angels units to be good in Liberator Assault Group. You just need a lot of units that take advantage of the +2 strength and the +1 attack, right? Which is jump intercessors and blade guards. Alright, we're moving on to the final list for tonight. It's by McBeard6290. Who picked, like... There's a lot of people that watch the channel that got 4 random ass numbers after the name. It must be like they typed their name in and YouTube added the 4 numbers. Because I'm like, who's picking these random ass numbers after their name? Okay, Hunter's Demise. We've done a lot. It's been a lot of Liberator Assault Group tonight, hasn't it? Sometimes the show goes that way, where everybody's playing Liberator Assault Group. I mean, it is the massively over-rep detachment, right? So we've got a captain with a jump pack, with a relic weapon, interestingly, and not a power fist. I'll probably always take the power fist, personally. Dante, a captain with a mastercrafted chainsword. Again, I probably always take the power fist over the mastercrafted chainsword on a Death Company captain. I don't even know what that is. It's like strength 4, AP 1? I don't know why you would take it. I mean, I think I always take the power fist. Yes, it's 2 less attacks, but it's literally double the strength and double the AP. I think that's worth it to be at strength 10. The relic weapon, maybe. I personally just prefer strength, man. I play Death Guard a lot. You play Death Guard a lot, you'll realize that when the whole army is T6, 7, 8, 9, 10, strength is king. Lamarta's a lieutenant with a storm shield and a Volkite pistol, and then a Phobos lieutenant. Not many people play the Phobos lieutenant. What's his special rule again? He gives a unit lethal hits. It can make a normal move after you've shot. He can go with incursors, infiltrators, or reavers. Okay. Unit of intercessors. Unit of jump intercessors. Small unit of blade guard. Small unit of Death Company on foot. I hate these Death Company on foot. I think they're really bad. And I think you're better off with just regular intercessors. Unit of Death Company with jump packs. A unit of Hellblasters. A unit of Infernus Marines. A unit of Infiltrators. An ATV, Outriders, a Redemptor. The 6 Sangre Guard, which have actually gone up in points. And a Terminator squad. I want to say that this is a newer player. Because what this list tells me is like, he is one of these things, right? Because it just feels like, you know when you go to the buffet? Like, the all-you-can-eat buffet, and you try everything? Because like, normally you'd just be like, I like steak and chips, that's what I'll eat. But when you go to the buffet, you're like, well, I'll have some steak, and I'll have some pork, and I'll have some lamb, and I'll have some potatoes, and then I'll have some chips, and then I'll have some peas, and you just have everything, right? You just fucking mash it all up. You get it all on your plate. He's using what he has. Yeah, exactly. I was at the buffet. Do you know what? I'm going to show you a photo. I was at the buffet. When I took my kids to Disneyland, I was at the buffet. And this list reminds me... I was going to say, can I find it? God damn it, now I can't find it. The buffet, the dessert buffet, I want to say I had like 9 desserts. God, I can't find it now. But basically, like, this reminds me of the time. Yeah, okay, no. I found it, right? Let's see if it can show it in any sort of like full screen. Look, like everything, like all the food. Like I've one of everything on the plate, and then for desserts, I had one of everything. Look, every single dessert. 5 desserts, 6 desserts. That's Thor's hammer, by the way. There's like chocolate with Thor's hammer stuck on top of it. So this is what this is. So when you have a new player and you've been... The problem, I think, is you walk into Games Workshop or you walk into your local gaming store and you see a unit on the shelf, Blade Guard, Hellblasters, whatever you see, and you think it looks cool and you just buy it. And you add it to your collection and you paint it and you build it. It's the kind of greed they described in the Bible. Well, only had 1 plate of mains and 1 plate of desserts because I knew I was going a bit over top, right? And I was watching my calories, not too much on holiday, mind you. But yeah, you're at a buffet, you literally pick one of everything. I suppose it's the same when you're a new player. You walk into the store, you see a repulsor, you go, oh, the repulsor looks pretty cool. I should buy a repulsor. It's only when you get it home and you make it, and then you put it on the table and you're like, why do I need this tank? It doesn't make any sense. It's got it's got like 15 guns, and I only need I don't need 15 guns, right? So this is exactly what this is. So based on that, I think what you have to do next is like look at the strong things in this list. Blade Guard, they're strong. Maybe that should be a 6. Death Company Marines with jump packs, they're strong. Maybe that should be a 10. You got the Shangri Guard at 6, that's good. But Redemptor Dreadnoughts, they've actually come down in points since then. But so the other thing I recommend personally for Blood Angels is like 3 dedicated shooting units. And you could argue you've got your Hellblasters and your Redemptor Dreadnoughts, they're dedicated shooting units. But I think you probably need a Ballistus Dreadnought or a Gladiator Lancer. I think they're the safe picks. Going forward into 11th edition, because I think there's a very real chance the Vindicator tank goes to Legends. My dream 2,000 point list has no more than 6 or 7 data sheets. Yeah, and also see if you're going to go to a tournament, you want to be playing less data sheets. Like, you don't want to be going to a tournament with 15 data sheets because you're not going to remember. You're going to forget some of the rules. You're going to forget that unit had lethal hits or something, you know? If you're going to a tournament, I mean, like, I'm trying to think of the recent tournaments I went to with Liberator Assault Group. Like, I've got 2 Impulsors. I've got 2 units of Sangry Guard. I've got 2 units of Jump Intercessors. I've got 2 Vindicator tanks. So that's half my army. It's only 4 data sheets. Yes, I've got 2 of a bunch of stuff. But what's the easiest Metallica album to get into? Random question, but I love it. Metallica are awesome. The easiest Metallica album to get into is probably the Black Album. Or it's just called Metallica. It's just the one with the black cover. Is that the best album, though? Absolutely not. But is it the one that made them mainstream? Yes. And if you're not into heavy metal, then probably the self-titled album is probably going to be the best one. You'll know some of the songs, Sad But True, Sad But True, Enter Sandman, Unforgiven, Nothing Else. Like, you must have heard Nothing Else Matters. Yeah, so it's going to be the Black Album to get into. But is that their best album? No. I think it's possibly the first album I got as well, Phil. And I remember listening to that album. That is a good album, right? Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with the Black Album. Maybe a little bit more commercial than their previous ones, but it is a good album. And then I remember listening to other albums after that and thinking, holy shit, the other albums are even better. I didn't think they could get better from the Black Album. But yeah, so I think you need to probably think about a Gladiator. or a Ballistic Dreadnought, you probably want to think about making that Death Company 10-man. Maybe an Impulsor as well. Lieutenant and Phobos Armor I just don't think is a good pick. The Infiltrators are fine, but for me, I would run either Infiltrators or Intercessors. I don't think you need both. So this definitely feels like a new player list. I think the three things, you could buy 5 more Jump Death Company, you could buy more Blade Guard, you could probably get an Impulsor, and you could probably do a Gladiator Lancer or Ballistic Dreadnought. I think all those things would point you in the right direction for building towards more competitive in 2,000 points, right? People will get into Master because of Stranger Things. I've never actually watched Stranger Things. I think my wife's watched it, but not me. Master of Puppets is Master of Puppets is probably one of my favourite albums. I've quite liked the new one, actually. Like, Hardwired to Self-Destruct, Take It or Leave It. I like Death Magnetic more. But I've quite liked, I forget what the new one's called. The one that had Lux Eterna on it. What's their most classic work? That's a weird question. The 3 best albums are probably album 2, 3, and 4, right? Album 2 is... oh god, I don't know the right order. I think it's... album 2 is Master of Puppets. Album 3 is Ride the Lightning. Album 4 is Justice for All. Those are the 3 best, probably. I'm not sure I'm getting Master and Ride round the right way. Oh, I did get them round the right way. Okay, cool. Geez, we've gone completely off of Blood Angels onto Metallica, but it's okay. I love them. I love them. You know what I've got, actually, which I've had for like 20 years now. I've got the original S&M on vinyl. I was actually talking to someone about this the other day because I haven't owned a record player ever in my life. My dad had one, so this is never, like, these vinyls have never been played. So eventually, when I have room, I'd really like to get a vinyl player. Because I've heard a few things on vinyl, and I know that CDs are supposedly better, but vinyl, there's something about vinyl. So I've had this for like, well, I got this when it came out. 1999 I've had this. So I've had this for 26 years. It's never been played. So maybe one day. No, I would like to get a record player. I only have this and one other vinyl. I mean, it didn't make sense to buy more than 2 vinyls. I actually had a couple other albums on vinyl. Had a Trivium album on vinyl, which I resold on eBay, and had a Biffy Clyro album on vinyl. But, like, the Metallica one's probably a bit more special to me. I prefer Metallica to those other 2 bands, so... cool. That's the end of the show, pretty much. Thank you so much for watching. It's always fun to do live shows on Sunday nights. Yeah, I have a lot of CDs, actually. I'm one of these mentalists that puts a CD drive in my computer. Not many people do, but I hate having computers that don't have any disk drives. I'm like, what about my old games? What if I want to go and play an old game? How do I play my old games if I don't have a disk drive? It doesn't make any sense to me. And I've kept all my old games because I'm a collector idiot. Look, Doom. God, there's a lot of dust on the top of this box. Do you see? Oh, you see that? It's an oldie. So I've kept all my old games. So I need to have a CD drive. So if I want to play my old game, I know I could just buy them on Steam. Probably Doom doesn't cost much on Steam these days. But no, when I put my new computer together for streaming for this channel, I was like, I need to have a disk drive in it. And what's really funny is, like, I had to email the company building the computer because I was like, none of your options on your website have a computer that have a disk drive in them. And they're like, oh no, you have to specially ask for that. And I was like, well, I'm specially asking for it because I want a drive. I've had a drive in every computer I've ever had since like the 90s. I'm not ditching it. Game manuals are a lost art these days. They really are, man. Yeah, I mean, I could have had an external disk drive, but isn't it cooler to have one inside? Because then when it breaks, which they inevitably do, it's a pain in the arse to change it. So that's why I wanted to have one inside, McFatson. But I've got one. I'm happy that I've got one. Guys, thank you so much for watching. The last 10 minutes have just been a bit of random, but I love you guys so much. Thanks for the support as always. This week I think I'm going to be covering a couple of Angelic and Herter's winning lists. And then I think we're going to be back live on Wednesday night because my tooth is obviously not fully healed, but much better, and I'm not having allergic reactions anymore. Touch wood, because I woke up today, I was almost 100%. So, am I at the rugby next week? Oh yeah, good point. I am. How do you even remember? Like, you know my schedule better than I do, James. Yes, I am at the Scotland game next week. Scotland versus Argentina? Yes. So there will actually be no show next Sunday night because I'll be driving home because it's like a 4-hour drive. So I'll see you in 2 weeks Sunday. Thanks for reminding me, James. Cool. But I mean, I'll probably, oh yeah, so I won't be live on Saturday night either because I'm down the night before. So next weekend is going to be a write-off. So Wednesday night there'll be a video. Friday there'll be a video. And I'm gone next weekend. I'll see you guys the weekend after. So thanks so much for watching. Have a great evening. Take care. Peace, 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 peace.